Hello
What are you?
everyone. I like the Ojamas. I'm weird. I'm honestly weird. I don't follow normal constructs, I guess. And I generally think the Ojamas are cool. Design wise, they could be better. I'll be honest, they're kind of really stupid looking, but I kind of like them. Yeah.
They do have one of their. They have been getting newer cars like Ojama Pajama.
See, they're stupid.
Yeah, it's the card has the Ojamas having a pajama party.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
There's also Ojama Emperor, which is a card now. Which yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to head into this because you people want us to, but yeah. You know the old thing, if you want more, you have to like, you have to comment, and you have to subscribe so that more people will come over and then say how wonderful we are at our dumb jobs.
Also, guys,
Anyway,
give me money. I'm poor.
oh my god.
I'm
Anyway,
poor.
into it we go.
Noble knights, Malice maybe? Leocroids, but again, not sure, yeah. Malice Find up. Every single archfiend. Gishki, Malice Digital bugs, Malice
Malice for.
Well, I guess I better go fuck myself. What is it about tiny, ugly things that equates to easily marketable mass popularity? Because
I don't know.
honestly cannot imagine how in the sea of Yu-Gi-Oh's ridiculously varied aesthetics, especially during the GX era, something like Ojama's never rise up to the level of recognition it has today. These pudgy, shrieking stooges tightly shoved themselves into the machine fusion / armed dragon clusterfuck, which was the deck of the ever so lovable Manjome Thundercock, or of course Chaz the Chad if we're talking about the dog,
Chaz
which resulted in some
Princeton.
of the most nonsensical cards and combos nobody's.
Oh yeah, they had this card. Where it was like they were driving the XYZs, I think.
See, they're great. They're stupid, but they're
It's not an
great.
actual. It's not an actual card in the game, Fable. It's just anime only.
Damn, you guys are chickens.
Oh my god. Listen, they do have a few cards showing them, like, there's one card showing Ojama Yellow getting beat up by Armored Dragon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm suffering.
Sane would ever consider to be a thing outside of the anime. But given that this is Yu-Gi-Oh!, sanity was just about the last.
Yeah, he has 3 archetypes that he uses in his deck. Dear God.
Consideration during the development.
Only Armed Dragon is any good.
2017. So
They
with much
didn't,
hesitation, let's take a gander.
What?
Didn't Jaden have like 2 archetypes at a point? Because he had the Elemental Heroes, but then he had the Neospatians later, which was kind of
yes,
weird.
the Elemental here. Here's the thing: the Elemental Heroes are a lot better than the Neospatians. There's only one Neospatian that is even good, but dear God.
I know. I just think it's kind of funny. Like when you look at a lot of the protagonists, sometimes they kind of get a second archetype in their build. Except not no, Yuya kind of did, but then he kind of did the XYZ summon thing a lot later on. I don't know. It was weird.
You say pretty much just had the Junks and the Warriors, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, and Stardust Dragon, but yeah.
We start off with the original trilogy, the Sins of Man, known as Ojama Yellow, Ojama
Yeah.
Green,
Sins
and
of Man.
All 3 of them are level 2 light beast types with 0 attack and 1000 defense, with flavor text saying that when they pair
Sounds
together,
like you, man.
something happens.
Understandable.
Ominous. This is one of the rare times when a flavor text directly pertains to something the card does, the few other examples I can think of being Robo Lady and Robo Yarrow, as well as the Magnet Warriors. All of them are beast type, despite looking superficially human. What
Yeah.
does Nami mean by this? Is it a commentary on society? Ojama Yellow's voice in the show was like a continuous scream contorting itself into words. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the card, I just don't like it.
No one likes it.
Ojama Green's head is an accident. There
Yeah.
should never be any contours.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, Depending on the kind of Ojama deck you wanna run, yeah, they come in variants. It's usually 1 or 2 copies of each vanilla, as desperate for a retrain as they are. Several years into the Ojama's existence, we got Ojama Blue. Same type, stats and attribute, but with an effect. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add 2 Ojama cards from your deck to your hand.
Yes, they are terrible.
Ojama Muscle. Oh, thank God it can include Ojama Muscle. I'd be really upset if it didn't. But I will deduce it some points because it doesn't include Man Toto. It's a sad state.
Yeah, it's basically.
I told.
What were you gonna say?
I was just about to say, I told you, you don't want to watch it, I'll watch it myself.
Listen, if I'm gonna suffer, I'm at least gonna get paid to suffer, okay?
Oh my god.
That's the rules. I'm at least gonna get something out of this, alright?
Oh my
State of
sweet
affairs
lord.
when your best searcher needs to be destroyed by battle to get his effect off, but given that there are no better options, you might as well treat yourself with 3 of these. It fetches monsters as well as back row, so if you survive the turn in which it was destroyed, you might actually be able to make some plays in the next turn. So, am I the only one who thought this was a girl Ojama at first? Are there girl Ojamas? How
no.
do they produce? All of these
I don't
are
wanna know.
rhetorical questions, not because I know the answer, but because I don't want to know the answer. The
Yeah.
last main deck monster is Ojama Red, and somewhere between the bloodshot eyes and look of barely restrained violence, you will find a fairly useful card. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon up to 4 Ojama monsters from your hand in attack position.
Wow.
Getting effect for a dude that looks like he swallows marbles? That is the primary reason why Ojamas were actively used as rank 2 fodder in Raccoon variants from a couple of years ago.
Really?
Able to swarm the field with the right amount of setup, and even enable a certain funky Ojama play I will mention in a few minutes. Nowadays that utility is severely dampened, but if anything, it can still provide link material, so it's not too big of a deal. Run 2 to 3 of these, just don't make it angry. Now for the Noble Knight they don't want you to remember. You know, besides most Noble Knights.
I like Noble Knights.
Level 5 with 0 attack and 2500 defense.
Dude, that is stupid, I love it.
You select up to 2 of your opponent's monster card zones.
Oh yeah, they can't use 2 monster card zones.
What do you say about
Oh my
someone
god,
who
it's a
puts on a
fusion
speedo
box.
outside a full suit of armor? You know, besides I'm calling the police.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I'd probably do the same.
Oh my goodness gracious.
What do you expect me to say? This is a good design?
Yes.
No.
It's the
Not
best
on your life.
design.
No.
The best
None of
design.
that.
He looks like he's from a bad place. It's hilarious.
He is from a bad place, and you'll see in the future, because I remember their field spell.
Zone blocking is a weird gimmick they attempted to make into a thing with the early Ojamas, and unless you manage to collapse the opponent's entire front row, it usually didn't matter for much.
Yeah.
The aiming to win with Ojamas focus primarily on fusion summoning, even less so on Ojama Knight. To add insult to injury, you cannot block off extra monster zones, which is just one of many handicaps put upon Ojamas by Master Rule 4. You could also summon this thing with instant fusion at the cost of 1000 life points and your self-respect, but I don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Next in the line of royalty is Ojama King. A level 6
I
fusion
remember
with 0
him.
attack and 3000 defense, requires Ojama green, yellow, and black, and it blocks off 3 of your opponent's monster card zones while it's face up on the field. Ooh, legs with legs, wonderful design. Did you know that this ideal male body is actually the younger version of Humpty Dumpty? That's what I've been told by him.
I just want to say this, you guys might not like it, but that's peak male performance right there.
I hate all of the words that just came out of your mouth, Fable. Oh god.
I'm gonna make a short out of that.
God.
It's true though.
This feels like an archetype we would have of you, Karsten, and Platy somehow, where you're all dressed as the Ojamas. Yeah.
It's great. I love these guys. They're so stupid.
My life is suffering for you,
Materials
for your
are specific,
amusement.
which makes it a bit harder to summon, but makes fusion conscription usable, and if it accounts for anything, it's essentially a game ender in Duel Links. Despite the numerous upsides I stated, you don't want to play this.
No.
The first Ojama spell is Ojamagic. When this card is from the hand or the field to the graveyard, add one each of Ojama green, yellow, and black from your deck to your hand. In team for Ojamas, completely useless on its own.
Yep.
However, depending on the type of deck you run, this card could potentially lead to a lot of advantage, even though it generally wasn't ran in many builds aiming to compete, mainly due to the archetypes Ojamas were being splashed into not having many discard options. Luckily, certain newer Ojama support offers quite a bit of discarding, as well as searching and recycling, so Oja Magic became a lot more viable.
Oh, I hit my hand.
Oh no.
Their next normal spell is Ojama Muscle. Remember, Ojama Blue can include it. Select one face-up Ojama King. Destroy all Ojama monsters in the field except the selected Ojama King. It gains 1000 attack for each monster destroyed this way. Remember, all Ojama monsters in the field. That means on your opponent's side too. The plebeian mind immediately goes to using Ojama Trio tokens to their advantage, but us true intellectuals see this as a linchpin in the Ojama mirror match. Anyway, it's anime garbage that was printed because it was used like twice in GX, and I assume 0 times in real life. I'm also really bothered by the ostensibly human-looking arm representing what should be Ojama King, but I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and assume he went to a tanning salon. Their last normal spell, for now, is Ojama Delta Hurricane. You can only activate this card while Ojama Green, Yellow, and Black
are actually used in the anime?
Destroy all...
The Ojama Muscle? Yeah, it was.
No, I mean Ojama Delta Hurricane. Like, wasn't that one?
It was.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I remember that.
It was a really stupid attack. I remember how they did it too. I hate these memories coming back to me. This is the nostalgia I didn't want. It's like memories from the past coming to haunt me from a bygone era that I didn't wish for. Well, I know something funny, Fable. Ojama Yellow was in the first pack of cards that I ever bought. You know, like those starter packs.
Yeah.
I just immediately looked at it and went, ugh, and never looked at it again. I was too busy marveling at the Dark Magician I had gotten.
He just literally took it out back and burned it in a bonfire, never to be seen again.
I didn't do that, but I don't remember what happened to it. I'm glad it's gone.
Alrighty.
Cards on your opponent's side of the field. Yeah, so this is what happens when they're together. Not one, but 2 exclamation marks in the title. Some cards should really take notes. Delta Hurricane is a hilarious card worth building an entire deck around, to be honest, especially now that Ojamas are a lot more consistent. It's worth running at 1 as long as you're actively relying on Ojama Red to swarm the field, since Ojamas often benefit from a board wipe. Delta Hurricane offers a more poignant message about friendship than anything the entirety of Arc 5 had to say about smiles.
Ooh.
Their field spell is Ojama Country.
Turn, you can this is Ojama Country, Fable. What
do
you think about this?
It's adorable looking. You mean this is hell? I think
this is special. This is a special circle of hell.
I don't understand why.
Because it has Ojamas in it.
They're not that bad.
Oh, ye of poor sight.
Oh my sweet lord, they're not that bad, but okay.
One Ojama card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon one Ojama monster from your graveyard. While you control a face-up Ojama monster, switch the original attack and defense of all monsters on the field. In this card, we get a look into Ojama's America. Ojama Yellow is being thrown off a roof, so things seem to be progressing smoothly. This is pretty much the only archetypal way to trigger the effect of Ojama Magic for quite a few years, which combined pretty well with Ojama Red. As a recovery option, it's not abysmal, and it has a place in the more spammy-centered builds, while the stat shift effect is a cute addition that can deliver a surprise crippling to some decks, even though Lynx couldn't care less about it. It has a lot of potential gimmicky tomfoolery options outside its main focus, such as using Labyrinth Wall as a beater. Lots of Ojama lore questions are brought up by this card though. I wanted Ojama Orange, but they gave me Ojama Lime? Is that thing in the air and Ojama snakes? Ojama Indigo. The first Ojama is the ever so famous Ojama Trio. So summon 3 Ojama tokens, which have the same stat line as the Ojamas, to your opponent's side of the field in defense position. They cannot be tributed for
they're not good anymore.
Each time one is destroyed, its controller takes 300 damage. A card obviously initially designed as a vaguely useful gimmick, Trio ended up on the limited list due to potential abuse related to lockdowns, even though said limit happened at the start of the Synchro era when the card was less useful than ever. Trio's usage of the side deck card usually meanders through formats, given that it can be a counter to quite a few decks. However, the Link era spat in the card's face and called it a bitch, so there's very little incentive to run it in anything nowadays, let alone in Ojamas.
Yeah, you know why you don't want to use this card anymore, Fable?
Why?
Because giving your opponent monsters of any kind is a bad idea.
Oh yeah, with all the All the fusion, the synchros, and the freaking links and all those summons. Yeah, it's kind of a bad idea.
Yeah, like literally, I once had an enemy in a game, like they summoned this, and I just like, okay, I summoned my level 2 tuner, and now I have a level 8.
Yeah, that makes sense. That poor
Or
soul.
is there? Well, you
Yeah.
see, the tips page for Ojama King on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki points out this handy OTK strategy.
Okay.
Use Ojama Trio, then summon all 5 Ojama cards to the field and fuse Ojama Yellow, Green, and Black into Ojama King. By the way, you need
Okay.
to use polymerization. Then use
Yeah.
Unstable Evolution to
Why?
make the original attack of Ojama King 2400, and then use Ojama Muscle to destroy Ojama Red and Ojama Blue along with the Ojama tokens. This makes the attack of King 7400, and then equip Megamorph
What?
to Ojama King to double its attack to
Jesus
14,800.
What?
It's a 10-card OTK, how's it not tearing up nationals?
10 card.
And Ojama Duo, one of their newer support cards, happens to be slightly more useful. Special summon 2 Ojama tokens, again, same stats, to your opponent's field in defense position. These tokens cannot be attributed for a tribute summon, and each time it is destroyed, its controller takes 300 damage. During either player's turn, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard, special summon 2 Ojama monsters with different names from your deck. The first effect would have been fairly nasty in combination with the Ojama Trio due to blocking off all of the opponent's monster zones, however, now you're just giving them a free link monster.
Yep.
You'll rarely be using the first effect unless you're absolutely sure it will benefit you, but while I would have preferred the second effect to be able to special summon the Ojamas during the turn sent to the graveyard, it makes the card worth running due to synergizing with the Ojama Swarming playstyle. Ojama Country and Foolish Burial Goods are both good options for getting Duo into the graveyard, so it's definitely worth running. Okay, so that marks the end of what your average Yu-Gi-Oh! Practitioner would consider reasonable archetypal support. Emphasis on reasonable. See, if shit like Red Eyes Gearfried and Red Eyes Fang with Chain was allowed to exist in the first place...
I honestly like the look of these cards, but basically what they do now for Red Eye support is just give them Joey's cards, more or less, and just turn them into Red Eyes. Like Red Eyes Fang with Chain, and, well, you saw Red Eye... Gearfried the Red Eyes Iron Knight.
Makes sense.
But yeah.
We should have probably expected several other anime prevalent archetypes to get similar support, as cards based on stuff that was commonly used by the dude running the archetype, but unrelated to it. But while Gearfried was a generic monster whose aesthetics were adopted into Red Eyes, Ojamas went ways above and beyond. So first we need to take a look at the XYZ lineup. Not XYZ, XYZ.
I love these cards.
Union monsters ever, released before some of you were born, I would imagine. Y Dragon Head and Z Metal Tank focused on equipping themselves to the Vanilla X Head Cannon, increasing its attack and protecting it from destruction. They were also, interestingly enough, the first bunch of monsters that could fuse without polymerization, resulting in several underwhelming 2-piece fusions, as well as the somewhat decent XYZ Dragon Cannon that would destroy a card on the field by discarding 1 card. During GX, another similar set of monsters was released, that being V
Tiger Jet and Wing
Catapult, combining into VW Tiger Catapult, and capping off the alphabet by combining with XYZ Dragon Cannon into VW XYZ Dragon
Catapult Cannon,
which once per turn enables you to...
It looks like a Sentai fusion thing. Fusion Megazord.
You know what they should do? They should make a one based off all the alphabets and just have like a super long monster. That'd be hilarious.
Well, we do have another one of ABC Dragon Buster.
Oh no. That's horrible.
To banish a card your opponent controls, and when this card attacks...
I do actually... These cards are actually cool.
Frankly, I find this one worse than Dragon Cannon due to being a very strict once per turn effect and being astronomically difficult to summon. Union Hangar almost helped these miserable machines, but the most obnoxious problem was the fact that they didn't work with V Tiger Jet and X Head Cannon due to them being normal monsters, even though it was still the most optimal way to summon this godless clusterfuck.
Oh yeah, A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon.
That's horrible.
It looks so cool though. Now it can destroy Ojamas for sure. But yeah.
What did they do wrong? What did they do wrong?
They were born.
Oh my god.
So, what does all this crap have to do with Ojamas?
Yeah.
Ojama edification is a normal spell with the following.
Ojama, look at this card, Fail. Ojamification.
Oh no.
But yeah. Listen, anything where involves where they're in pain, I'm happy.
Reveal
my
one
God.
light machine fusion monster in your extra deck and banish any number of Ojama monsters from your hand, field,
Okay.
and or graveyard. Special summon from your hand, deck, and or the graveyard fusion materials with different names specifically listed on the revealed card, equal to the
Okay.
number of monsters banished this way. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card. No, this was not in fact generated by a neural network. This is
Yeah.
why? Because the Chaz.
Yeah.
You need apparently. And I absolutely hate to say this, but it is one of the better ways to turbo the XYZ fusions. You may need to
That is
run
crazy.
Ojama Blue into things, or discard Oja Magic for the materials, but in most cases, Ojamidification will bring a quick fusion, and it even offers decent recycling. You could also play it in ABC for the sake of claiming you played ABC Ojamas, but I prefer to dwell on the matters of obviously higher beings, such as the people who would do that. God,
Yeah.
Silent Hill artwork really ties it all together, doesn't it? Anyway,
Yeah.
you played 3 of these in Machine Fusion Ojamas.
Dear
Now we
God.
move on to Armed Dragons.
Yep. It's getting some.
Second.
Kind of a figure of the armed dragon, but yeah. I can understand getting drunk for
Armed
this.
Dragons are a series of
Are they
LD
that
monsters,
bad?
which you would assume stands for a level, but
Listen, the armed dragons are cool, but they keep fusing them with like this, so level monsters used to be good, only due to the fact of, well, you'll each turn you will get a better monster.
for all we care, it might as well be a legendary vagina. They start off with a pathetic Armed Dragon level 3, which you can then
Yeah.
summon
Jesus,
during
dude.
your standby phase to special summon Armed Dragon level 5.
Which
from
is
your
pretty
hand to the
useful.
He's a bit bigger and allows you to discard 1 monster to destroy 1 monster your opponent controls with less attack than the discarded monster, and during the end phase, if you destroy the monster by battle this turn, you can send it to the graveyard to special summon 1 Armed Dragon level 7 from your hand or deck, which is a rather large fella that can only be special summoned by level 5's effect and lets you discard 1 monster to destroy all monsters your opponent controls with less
Yeah.
attack than that monster. There are also Armed Dragon level 10 and Dark Armed Dragon,
Yeah.
which are pretty much spin-offs of the main line and aren't
Pretty
relevant
much.
in this discussion. But what is relevant, given that we're talking about Ojama support after all? Oja matching, it would seem.
Oh yeah, this card, I told you about this one.
Oh my god.
What do you think of the art of this one?
It's funny.
And for some reason, Ojama Black is supposed to be Mickey from, what was it? What was the movie?
Rocky?
Yeah. God. Well, at least Yellow's getting beat up, so that makes me happy.
Ojama card from your hand or face up from your field to
Oh
the
my
graveyard.
God,
Add
right.
1 Ojama monster with a different name and 1 Armed Dragon monster, except Hardened Armed Dragon, thank you,
Hardened.
CG, from your deck and or graveyard to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 of those monsters. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card.
Dear
I'll
God.
play Malakoda's advocate here and say this is a better overall Ojama card than Ojamidification, mainly due to letting you set up the graveyard or discard Oja Magic. I don't know how I feel about the normal summon clause, given that it seems to be
Yeah.
exclusively for Ojama Red, when it would significantly help if it let you immediately dump Armed Dragon level 5 onto the field. The recovery is the same as the
Oh, yeah.
previous card, which is nice, I guess. It can make for some decent plays if you manage to discard Oja Magic. But why would you be running both Armed Dragons and Machine Union monsters alongside Ojamas in the same deck? Obviously,
Here we
because
go.
of this thing that I hate.
Look at this.
Let me see. Oh my goodness
Armed dragon,
gracious.
catapult cannon. Yeah, this is a thing.
Why is this a
They have-
thing?
Because they were all used by Chaz.
The chat.
Literally every, it's kind of funny because literally every card Yugi ever used has spin off into their own archetype. Same with mostly for Kaiba, which is mostly just blue eyes. And for Joey, it's just conglomerating them all into red eyes. But for this, they're just fusing 3 archetypes together.
Hate so much. Armed Dragon
Yeah.
Cannon is a level 10 machine type fusion monster.
It's not a great
3500
design.
Attack and 3000 defense. Requires VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon and Armed Dragon level 7 as materials.
Good lord.
Must be special summoned by banishing said cards you control and or from your graveyard after you have special summoned said cards during this duel and you do not use polymerization. Your opponent's cards with the same name as a banished card and their effects cannot be activated. Once per opponent's turn, you can banish one card from your deck or extra deck, banish all cards your opponent controls and in their graveyard.
Dear
Here
God.
it is. A shining monument to Konami's design ethos. We could have gotten Mecha Ojamas. It didn't need to be like this.
Yeah, those are in the anime.
For a multitude of reasons, but the primary complaint I have is most definitely laziness. Anyone remember the Dino Ultra Zord from Power Rangers?
Yeah.
This was just two previous toys stuck atop of each other? This
Pretty
is
much.
the card equivalent of that.
Yeah.
99 summoning condition based entirely on unrelated quote-unquote classic boss monsters used by a popular anime character with a nuke and stun effect that might as well just win you the game at that point. Sure, it's satisfying to
Pretty
summon
much.
it, especially knowing you did so by using primarily level 2 vanilla beasts of all things, but the fact that you managed to get there means you would have probably won even without it. As for the summoning
Yeah.
itself, it's remedied to an extent by fusion tag, meaning you don't have to make a link monster to bring out VW and XYZ for the sake of summoning one of the materials for this thing. Or do you? Well, the TCG, proving their localization incompetence yet again, states that the effect of fusion tag can only be applied when a monster is being used as a fusion material for a fusion summon, while in the OCG it can be applied for any summon that uses it as fusion material, including contact fusion, meaning no polymerization. I recognize that the TCG has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid ass decision, I have elected to ignore it, hence why the deck profile at the end will be running fusion tag. Anyway, back to this thing.
Avengers
I
reference.
don't know what else to say, it just kind of exists in its own limbo of giving third wave Ojamas a win condition, which is why you run it despite rarely even summoning it. Also, it's called Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon instead of Ojamegazord, and that's why I'm quitting the game forever. The final Ojama card, at least for now, is their new continuous trap, Ojama Party. Christ,
Yeah.
did they turn Dustons into a bedsheet? Did Link Era not fuck them over enough? If a light
But yeah, this is Ojama.
Oh, it's
Party.
adorable. That
They're
is
not in incredible pain, so I am unhappy.
I think it's adorable. Also, I think it's incredibly funny that he had to do an Avengers reference of all things. It's beautiful.
That reference coming back more and more relevant nowadays.
It really
Machine Fusion
is.
monster and or armed dragon monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, except hardened armed dragon. You can banish one Ojama card from your hand, field or graveyard instead. You can only use each of the following effects of Ojama Party once per turn. During the main phase, you can add one Ojama card from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon as many of your banished Ojama monsters as possible. I like that they can afford to make Ojamas as consistent as possible, given that they're so useless on their own. So many archetypes get a piece of love in this card. With the discard effect, even your deepest Ojama Darkwold dreams can come true. Good searching, sweet protection, graveyard setup, recovery, this party has got it all. I don't see a reason not to run it. This is as much utility as catapult Ojamas are gonna get, so thanks Konami, I guess. Grades. You can't grade Ojamas. They're like an engine. If the engine was a AA battery powering up the entire USS Enterprise. If I did give out grades based on how sensible of a deck you can make out of these things, I can assure you nothing will be going past a yellow. Ojamas are actually decently consistent, but it's like a lifetime supply of bootleg game consoles. No matter how many of them there are, and no matter how much they try to convince you, that's not a PlayStation, and there is no such game as Super Mario Bros. 16. Here's the deck.
Oh my
Everything next to
god.
Ojama Magic is a level up, it can be useful. Experiments with Rescue Cat have also been proven fruitful, so that's also a thing you can do. See, this would have been a much easier archetype to review a few years ago, back when Ojamas were just this weird holdover from the GX era that got some halfway decent support. But archetypes take weird turns. Some of them, such as Arcana Force or Ally of Justice, flounder about and never really find a coherent playstyle, but I've never seen anything quite like the treatment Konami gave to Ojamas. This is like if Guardians got new support that required you to run metallizing parasites, except nobody would fly with that because it wasn't a thing in the anime. You can almost see what they were going for. Ojamas in the anime had a few gimmicks out of left field, so they took one and expanded upon it, but in the process they made this parasitic tumor on the ass of two other archetypes, of which only one arguably needed the boost. Ojama was also
Jesus
apparently one of
Christ.
the nicknames they used for Kojima while he was still working at Konami, so nice to know that this is the only legacy the man has left there. But as the average Archetype Archive YouTube commenter would say, At least they're good in Duel Links.
Hey, YouTube. Unfortunately,
Dear God, Ojama Lime's here. Why is my life pain? All I know is pain. All I know is
This
pain.
is nice, though. I learned a lot about the Ojamas.
I have learned forbidden knowledge. I will now flush it from my mind after we are done with this video.
I'm Ojama Line. I'm here today to talk to you about something which both I and the Mississippi court system thinks is very important for you to know.
Okay.
Now, you may have heard of the phenomenon called dark Yugi-tubing, and you've said to yourself, wow, that sounds like dark grapher. That must be really cool. And I'm here today to say to you, no, it's not cool. It's not fun, and it hurts your friends, and it hurts your family. I personally got involved in dark Yugi tubing for 16 years, and look at me now, stuck in Ojama country, farming sand. You can't eat sand. You can't do anything with sand. It's sand, and yet the law of this place is that every village has to have one sand farmer. What kind of sense does that make? Can someone explain to me why that's a law here? Anyway, don't do dark Yugi tubing, or you'll end up farming sand. I'm Ojama Line. Good night.
Okay.
Hi, thanks for sitting through this episode of Archetype Archive. I think I may be holding off the Duelist of the Roses playthrough as a 50k sub special, we'll see. Anyway,
I gotta look at those
an
ones
Archetype
later.
review, subscribe if you
Yeah.
like it, and I'll see you next time, as always.
Well, that was a thing.
That was fun.
My life could have been a lot better before that video.
I
But
told
anyway,
you I'll react to it on my own if you want, but you're like, no, Fable. I need to be paid for this. Words.
my suffering must mean something, Fable.
You say that, but when I say that, I'm the bad guy. I say all it is.
Oh my God.
Chat, double standards, and apparently I'm the bad guy. It seems.
Yes.
Wow, rude.
Anyway, thank you all so much, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye, and take care of yourselves.
Guys, tell me what your favorite archetype is. I'm actually genuinely curious. I want to know. Even if it's like an obscure one, every archetype to me feels like it's someone's favorite. Like every Pokemon is someone's favorite Pokemon. So
I guess.